I'm Haslinda Amin in Singapore. In a country known as the Detroit of the East, auto parts are big business, and there is none bigger than Thai Summit Group, a billion-dollar company with plants not just in Thailand, but the US, China, Japan, India, and Indonesia. For almost 2 decades, Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit has been driving the company's growth and global ambition. Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit is today's high flyer. An engineer by training, lured by student activism in college, Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit is largely credited with building his family's company into a thriving global business. Thai Summit is targeting $3 to $4 billion in annual revenue and is building out its US interests with plants in Michigan and Kentucky. It counts Tesla among its clients. Now at 40, having risen to the apex of business, TJ, as is known, is facing his biggest challenge yet. Taking on Thailand's political elite, he's formed a new party in a country with a history of political oppression, with the aim of becoming Thailand's next Prime Minister. Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit, welcome to High Flyer. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
You were 23 when your father passed away, and that was a surprise for the family. It was when you and your mom took over the family business. How was it like for you initially?
It was a big challenge in my life because since I grew up, I had no interest in family business before. So I knew almost nothing about the family business. And then one day suddenly, just like that, I had to run it. So it was a challenge. On one hand, it's about the technicalities, of the products and of the processes. And on the other hand, it's about a 23 years old kid managing the team that are in the 50s, in the 60s.
You were an engineer by training, and you brought technology to the company.
The first few things I did was to set up the R&D department. When I came in, the company was, not modern when it comes to management techniques and all that, and we underinvested in for the future. So I set up the R&D department. After first few years, I took over the company, and now we have like 60 R&D engineers inside our company.
And that was also the critical point for Thai Summit, because that was when the company decided to have global ambitions, build on the ambition that your dad had.
That's right. Before that, we were 95% of our turnover was in Thailand. And now, almost 20 years after I've been running the company, about 65% in Thailand and 35% of our revenues generated overseas. We have now operations in 7 countries outside Thailand. So I invested first time in India after 3 years after I took over the company. So we invested in India in 2005. We invested in Vietnam in 2006 and Indonesia 2007, China 2009, in Japan 2009. So
So it's been pretty aggressive in terms of expansion globally.
And we paid a lot of price for that. I mean, expanding overseas is not easy. Any executives who have done this will tell you that it's never been an easy task.
But it was important for you because
our customers are global companies, and in order to be responsive to their strategy is to be global.
And speaking of customers, one of your customers is Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how you managed to win the business from Tesla.
Okay, it started with the Model S. Tesla was looking for a supplier for the Model S, and that time the production volume is relatively small, and the product and the people do not have a high trust in the future of Tesla. So there's space there that we could fill in. So we decided that, okay, let's give it a try. Let's go with this company. I visited Tesla head office and got an opportunity to talk to the senior management of the company, and somehow we found the chemistry. So from 2 million US dollar business a year, it became now something about 100 million US dollar business.
How difficult for you to win the trust of your customers, given that when you took over the company, you were just 23?
Well, in order to gain trust, what you have to do is to deliver commitments. You deliver commitments repeatedly and you gain the trust of your customer. It's the thing that you gain from what you do, not what you say. So, and I've been treating trust very carefully. One of my philosophies in managing my organization is trust and be trustworthy. It's the two-way, it's the bond basically. I don't think you can build a strong organization without trust. You can't.
And the company went through a difficult time during the financial crisis. A lot of your rivals actually went bust, but you succeeded. How?
That's because we are very prudent when it comes to the management of our balance sheet. We are not over leveraging our balance sheet. We're trying to keep our debt equity ratio low.
Is it important that it remains a family business, and do you see that changing anytime soon?
I am flexible actually, but the point that we remain private is because there's no needs for capital. We generate enough cash flow to supply for our capex, for our investment, without having to get it from external financial institutions. So once we have big opportunities, if big opportunity arises, I think the family is okay to go public.
You have ambitions to be the Prime Minister of Thailand.
Military intervention into politics has to be history.
You've been compared to the likes of Prime Minister Trudeau and President Macron.
When it's the darkest hour of our country, if I don't do anything, how could I answer to my children?
Now, Thanathorn, despite not having any experience in politics, you set up a new party, Future Forward, in Thailand. What's the thinking behind that?
The thinking behind that is the feeling that somebody has to stand up for what is right. I mean, it's been 12 years since the coup d'etat happened in 2006. It's been 12 years already, and we're still in this deep conflict that divides people into the yellow shirt in one camp and the red shirt in one camp. We think the horizontal division between the red shirt and the yellow shirt is wrong. We want to see a new division, people as a whole, against the military junta.
But what's your party platform? What do you stand for? What changes do you want to bring to Thailand?
We want to bring our country back to a democratic path. We've been under the government of Mr. Prayut Chan-o-cha for more than 4 years already, and we said enough is enough. This country, the only way to bring this country out of conflict is to bring it back to democracy, and that's very important. And we believe it can be done in our generation.
And you yourself have ambitions to be the Prime Minister of Thailand. What kind of leader do you think you will be?
Of course, I think it's very important that the new leader brings this country out of this political conflict, make Thailand a democracy, uphold human rights, and bring rule of law into this country. I think that's what people want to see.
And where is your support coming from? Would it be the millennials, the younger population, people who want change and change immediately?
I have to accept the fact that there is no way we could reach 75 million people of Thailand within these 6-7 months since we started this party. Of course, in the long term, we want to win the hearts and the minds of all the people in Thailand. But in this very short period of time, 6-7 months, our primary target would be people of the younger generation, say maybe 45 years of age, below that, educated and urban.
You've been compared to the likes of Prime Minister Trudeau and President Macron. What do you make of that comparison? I mean, and does it add more pressure on you to perform?
No, it's adding no pressure. Start with similarities. I think we all want to see change. We all want to deliver a better society to the people of the next generation. I think that's the similarities. We challenge establishment. However, the big differences lie in the context of the society. We are in the 5th year of the NCPO regime, the military regime, military junta. We are in the 12th years of the political conflict in Thailand. And under this military regime, many people have been oppressed. Freedom of speech has been taken away from the people. So the context is totally different.
We're talking about a country that's been so divided for so long, that's been plagued by coup, 12 successful coups, 11 unsuccessful coups. So there's been a tradition of coup every other year, for instance. Can that culture, the coup culture, be eradicated totally? What will it take?
It will take a huge political will to do that. I think what Thailand needs is not a new political party or a new faces, young faces in politics, but a new political will, a new destination, a shared destination that military intervention into politics has to be history. And that's what our party want to do, to end this culture of coup d'etat within our generation.
How difficult has it been for your family to see you make that transition from a businessman to a politician, because there have been threats, for instance, on the lives of your wife and your children?
Well, first of all, they are very supportive to me. They all wanted to help. They all want to contribute.
You didn't consult the family before you decided that?
No, I did not. It was kind of, in a way, it was like an accident. I didn't want to reveal to the public before I talked to the family, but then, the media, they came and approached me and asked about this, the forming of the new party, and I have to, talk to the public before I consult my family. My mother was very supportive. Of course, at first she was very upset because I was kind of a strong pillar in our business organization, and then suddenly I totally withdraw from the business. I think she's worried.
In a way, it wasn't a surprise. You were a student activist when you were in Thanathorn University. That could be the foundation of what you're doing now.
Actually, my sister said this. She expected this. Sooner or later, I will have to be in the politics. She said. Well, again, I had no intention of doing this. Even this time last year, I made the decision in January 2018.
Why were you a student activist? What cause were you pushing for?
Justice, reducing economic inequality. We see a big gap when it comes to wealth distribution in Thailand. You might not know this, but Thailand is the worst country when it comes to wealth distribution after Russia and India.
What makes you the right person? I mean, you're among the richest in Thailand.
I am.
In the 1%.
I am in the 1%.
What makes you the right person to be fighting for their causes?
I think I have more resources than others. And this is what I've told myself. If I, out of all the person who have more resources than others, not doing anything, when is the darkest hour of our country. If I don't do anything, how could I answer to my children 10, 20 years from now? How could I tell them at this hour, what was I doing?
You're quite an adrenaline junkie.
I did 250 kilometers run in Sahara, in Gobi. I did 560 kilometers run in Arctic, self-survival. For me, it's a journey inside myself.
Now, Thanathorn, you're the eldest son in a family of 5 siblings. How was it like growing up?
I got a lot of expectation from my parents, but actually I've never...
Expectations because you're the son.
The son, the eldest son. So I got big expectation from my parents, and that I felt it strongly when I was 18, when I was about to enter university. My parents' generation, all of them, none of them has been to university before. So our generation was the first generation in the history of our family that got a chance to go to universities.
And you succeeded and they were proud.
Luckily.
But you weren't interested in the family business. What did you want to do?
No.
Something to do with the F1.
I was like other boys in my generation. Cars is about speed, it's about, challenge. And that time there was no this mobile games and all that. So boys of our generations love cars.
But having said that, you did do internships and you did work during your vacation time, and your parents made sure that you had a sense of how the business was.
Yes and no. Actually, my parents, when they were young, they were very poor. We came from China some 60 years ago, right?
And your dad was a school dropout.
That's right, grade 4. So when they were young, they were very poor. So they wanted to make sure that we understand how it's like to be poor. So my mother put me into a number of jobs when I had summer holiday. I was a bellboy carrying baggages in a hotel. I did the dishwashing. I did work in a factory's warehouse. My mother gave me that opportunity to touch and feel how it's like to work on ground, just like the majority of the people. And she just wanted to make sure that I learn the pain of the poor.
And what does money mean to you? Because you have said before that the nouveau rich, the families which have just made the money, can never be on the same level as those born with money.
Actually, yes. When I was maybe 18, 20, from a poor family, a middle class family, we had become a rich family. And I felt like my parents wanted to be one of them, one of the elite. So from time to time, occasionally, they asked me to go along with them to dinner, to the balls, to the functions, where the elites mingle. And what I felt was that, and actually I think they felt the same, that we would never be accepted as one of them because we are new rich. So that's how we felt.
How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when looking at the world?
How? Wow, it's difficult. Let's put it this way.
When money is not enough.
Yeah, money is not enough, definitely. And I felt, how could we allow this kind of structure? How could we allow this kind of society continuing, especially in Thailand, where the majority of the people still live under poverty?
You're quite an adrenaline junkie. You run the ultra marathons in the Sahara and the Arctic. Why is it so important to you that you challenge yourself to such an extent?
Yeah, it started when I was 30 years old. You know, in my late 20s, I worked like crazy. You know, it would be normal to work 12 hours a day for me during that time. And then one day, my backbone disc slipped from where it should be, and I couldn't walk for like a month. And then the doctor told me that it's a wake-up call. You need to look after yourself. So I started with the biking, and then running, and then kayaking, yoga, and all that. And then one day, one of my friends asked me if I wanted to do triathlons. And then from triathlon, it's become a marathon, 50K running, 100K trail running, Ironman, and you know, many things far beyond that. So it's about testing the limit. It's about understanding what you are capable of. So for me, it's a journey inside myself.
So do you feel like nothing is impossible for you?
Kind of. I want to know where's my limit is, physically and mentally. So I did 250 kilometers run in Sahara, in Gobi. I did 560 kilometers run in Arctic, self-survival. I have to carry all the gears and all the equipments I need to survive in a minus 30 degrees Celsius environment. You know, I was the first Asian to finish that race. So, and then I thought it wasn't enough for me. I started mountaineering, like climbing big mountains, snow-covered mountains.
What's enough? What's next? What's the next challenge you want to conquer?
I still wanted to be outside. I want to feel the heat of the sun. I want to feel the travel of the wind. I still want to be out there, but the path of life I've chose not allowing me to do that anymore. I am giving 100% of my time to politics to make the lives of the majority of the people in Thailand better.
What's your vision for Thailand 20, 30 years down the road?
I want to see a country that people are treated equally. I want to see a country that uphold democratic values. I want to see a country that uphold human rights. I want to see Thailand that is going far beyond the middle income trap and be an advanced economy.
How about your own vision for yourself?
If there is a dream, one dream I want to see happen in my lifetime, I would like to see Thailand that has no more military intervention into politics. No more. Stop it. Start a new culture of prosperity and equality.
When do you see yourself as a prime minister, realistically, of Thailand?
Realistically, I would say in the next few years. In the next few years, I want to be there. I want to be part of the change.
Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit, thank you so much for being on High Fly. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ